looking at Harry with a very level gaze. She glanced down at the table with a frown.
You'll have fame, be in all the papers. They'll talk about you long after you've passed on from this world.
Harry let out a comic gasp, then clasped his hand over his mouth.
More than that, she said. You'll be king of your world.
Gladys smiled in a far-off way. The tallest woman spoke, her voice rich and deep. King of it all, she said, her words like an echo. She pointed at a card. Wheel of Fortune, she said. And the King of Swords. She smiled and tapped the side of her nose, as if there were an in-joke that Harry should know about. Gladys turned her head to take in the whole cross again. She pushed at one or two of the cards, adjusting their positions ever so slightly against the scratches in the wood. Bobby pointed at the lover's card. What's this one about? He said, winking at Harry.
I see a beautiful young woman. Oh, yeah, one heck of a looker she is, this gal.
The third old bird piped up.
I see her nearly half a century after the day you both get wed, wrapped in each other's arms.
What about me? Bobby nudged Harry again. He was enjoying this a bit too much.
You'll do all right,
Gladys said.
You'll be happy in the end.
Fame and fortune sounds better, being honest. Gladys smiled like she knew all his secrets, rocking gently in her chair, dancing to her own tune.
I see something good here for your children,
she said, and left it at that. What about my weans? Harry said. How many? Will they be happy and rich? He was grinning and catching Bobby's high mood. Gladys grabbed the cards and cleared them quickly.
The tarot don't tell you everything,
she said. The women turned towards each other then and back to their glasses of gin and orange. Whatever they had wanted from Harry, it was over now. What the hell were that about? Bobby said as they walked back to the bar. Blood of trees? Harry shrugged. He wasn't smiling anymore. The way she'd suddenly packed up the cards when he'd asked that question about children had put the willies up him. They stood at the bar and ordered 2 pints of mild. He thought about the cards. The pints were handed over and he took a big gulp. Bobby stood beside him, staring into space as he took his first sup. Penny for 'em, Bobby said. Harry took another gulp of his drink and shrugged. No, I can't believe any of that shit anyways, he said. But he closed his eyes and all he could see was a picture from the cards. 3 swords piercing a heart and blood. Blood, gurgling and bubbling and thickening like it was boiling in a pot, leaking all over the sticky floor of the pub and pooling at his feet. October 2017. Home. The former Loggerheads pub, permanently closed, Nottingham. Sian dropped the box on the bedroom floor and a cloud of dust flew up, making her cough. She looked around and was hit by nostalgia so heavy that it felt like a presence in the room. She hadn't been in the top rooms of the Loggerheads public house for years, and it was dragging her back in time. Chris appeared at the door carrying 2 boxes with such ease that he made them look empty. I see we have the usual Sian Love approach going on here, he said. He walked over and placed the boxes carefully against the wall. You'll break your stuff. I barely own anything breakable, she said. Chris turned towards her and raised one eyebrow. Previous house moves? Oi! Sian aimed a playful slap at his shoulder and he ducked away from her. She couldn't help smiling as she saw the laughter in his warm brown eyes. How you managed to run a methodical lab and not just break all the test tubes is beyond me. His voice was teasing. Work's different, she said, taking him seriously, although her forensics research role didn't involve handling test tubes or equipment very often these days.